Hey guys, it is Brido here, bringing you episode 55 of our Liverpool Career Mode series. In today's episode, we have 3 games for you, and we're going to talk a lot about, as well, the transfer deadline that's going to be coming out very soon. As I said in a small little snippet video I put up last night, episode 56, which is going to be the live stream for the transfer deadline, is going to be live today, April 23rd at 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern time, 10 p.m. for you guys in the UK, and 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. for you guys in Australia. It's a lot of information there, but I want to let you guys know because it's going to be something that I'm hopefully going to have you guys there to join in and help me out going through this stage. And there's going to be actually some not major changes, I'd say, but some significant ones, because I've gotten to the point this season's gone like a tailspin pretty much, and as I've talked about in the past, there's going to be at least 2 more seasons. Season 4 and Season 5 are the goals of mine to get this series to kind of the point that I'm happy with before we get into FIFA 14. But I'm at the point right now where I've really enjoyed the fact that I've been able to switch up the kind of man marking systems and the actual play that I use, how I'm actually controlling my players specifically instead of actually having, let's say, the computer, choose who I'm going to play as. This has all been benefits and things that really help me out. Also kind of changing the way that I cross balls in. It's now my control rather than the computer's. And overall, I feel like the experience is a lot better. I've gotten better at certain aspects of FIFA, and I'm still growing in other aspects as well. But the one thing I want to kind of touch on too is that I've kind of been, playing around with the formations a bit. And I've really gotten to the point that I'm starting to think that we started off with a 4-3-3 formation back at the beginning of this series and ran with that for pretty much 2 seasons, and we did really good. We were close to winning the league twice, and although we failed in both cases, we were close. And I think that maybe if we would have had some of the actual knowledge of switching things up that we have now and actually playing a different way, it could really benefit us with that system. Because if you look back at, I don't know now, it's been 5, 6, 7 games, our actual ability to play our stronger defense has really kind of grown overall, and I've been happy with the way that our teams played a lot more than where we were at the beginning of the season. And with that said, I think that it might be the best idea to go back to a 4-3-3 formation. And this is obviously up to you guys, because you guys really do have a big impact in what I do with the team. But I want to float that out there because I'm really thinking that this might be the best thing for the team going ahead. Going back to what we originally did with just the new ways to defend and overall just a little bit better actual control of our players. I think those 2 combinations, going back to what worked best at the beginning and then also kind of the improvements we've made for our actual control of the players, probably maybe not this season, but next season would be the impact that we really need. And I want to get comfortable in something. I'm kind of sitting around with this formation right now. It's been working all right. It hasn't been perfect, let's say. We've been having less opportunities to score, but we've also been really kind of shutting down the team as well. I'm starting to think that maybe a 4-3-3 formation with the wingers back might be the best thing possible. And the only problem with that too is that we sold Delafo, we sold Zaha, and we've kind of lost some of that actual depth we had on the wings where we had before. We still have Sterling, and I've been unhappy with how much he's played this season. I really want to put him back into a role where he is starring on the wing. He can play, he can have that amazing pace, and he can cross balls in. I really think that could be a benefit to us once again. And Suarez can play on the wing. He can also play in the striking role. There's a bunch of opportunities for him as well. So I'm going to put that out there to you guys. I want to get your opinions on that. Do you think that would be a smart decision to go back to that and then have the holding midfielder and then 2 center mids kind of sitting beside him, similar to just pretty much what we had not at the very beginning of the career mode, but moving into, I guess, the 2nd season and later on the 1st season? I think this might be the best bet for us to actually have a team that is going to really make an impact hopefully going forward. And my kind of goals for this season right now are at least for us to still make the Champions League. I want to get into the top 4, but I'm skeptical at the very least if we're actually going to be able to make it to the top league, if we're going to be able to win the league. Because if you look at our stats this season, we are, I believe, 10-7-4 as of this game right here. And comparatively to the past 2 seasons, that's pretty much like our losses and draws have been very close to that, and we're not even we're halfway through the season right now, but we still got a lot of games on the table. So I think pretty much if we were going to really challenge for the league trophy, we would need to go somewhere near the perfect record going down the stretch, and that's like a 20 game perfect stretch, which I definitely don't think is going to happen. But the goal that we really got to shoot for is making that extra money, getting into the Champions League once again. Still focusing on the Champions League because we had that this season as well. Hopefully doing really well there because that's something that we can put our attention to, focus on. Maybe also look at the FA Cup as something that we want to reclaim the trophy, want to repeat. That could be really cool as well. And those are going to be the main points for the season, and then focus next season on getting to that point where we're back in the league contention area. But as I said, I want to really put some thought into, you know, going back to the 4-3-3 formation. If there's a resounding no from you guys, if you guys are not interested in me doing that, then I'm totally cool. I can, you know, continue on with this or just kind of slowly iterate once again on what we're doing right now. But I want to do that, and I want to get your opinions on who you think might be the right guys to bring in for the job. Now, as this game's playing right here, you can see we're in a 0-0 draw as we're moving on. But I want to talk about a couple transfers that you're going to see in a couple seconds that I've been making. And these were actually just responses to teams that were offering us, and they turned out to be really big offers that I was able to bring in some money for us. And players that, two players specifically we're going to talk about, and that's David Alaba, who has been probably, I think he was actually the first transfer that we brought into the club, and he's done really well. But we brought Cresswell in. I've been very happy with him, and the amount of money that's been offered for him is actually going to be, you know, beneficial for us going into the transfer deadline here. And I want to have a bit of money to work with too when I'm talking to you guys in the live stream, so we can actually make some interesting transactions there. So we did sell him to Roma for £15 million, which is quite a bit. You can see we got an offer for Lalana here for $11 million, and I decided no, that's not enough. I went back to them and said, hey, would you guys be interested in £14 million? And they actually accepted this offer, which you'll see again in a little bit. And the reason why this is interesting, at least to me, is the fact that I wasn't overly expecting. I was just trying to shoot for the moon. Here you can see also John Flanagan going to Millwall on a season loan, and that's why I just want to get him a bit more experience there. So yeah, with that said, selling Lalana is something that we brought him in at the beginning of the season. He really hasn't fit into the squad. I haven't really enjoyed his play as much as some of the other players we have on the team, and we do have quite a bit of depth in the midfield. So getting to sell him for £14 million, where we only brought him in for, I believe, I guess we sold him for Zaha, and then I was like £500,000 on top of that too. So getting that money back for him is going to be a benefit for us, along with also getting the money for the other transfer there for Alaba. It's going to help us have the money to spend and probably have just under £30 million to really throw around at this transfer deadline if we want to. So as we play this final game here, the replay against Barnsley, I'm going to put it to you guys. What do you want to see from us going ahead here? If we're going for a 4-3-3, I really think that we are set in the midfield. We have midfield players that we can work with perfectly fine. Holtby and Merkel are here to stay because I absolutely love playing with them. They are fantastic. And I feel like if I give them more time, they're going to really have a benefit for the team. Joe Allen can be kind of a guy that can come in, and we have Lucas Leiva and also Sven Bender that can play that holding midfielder role. And not to mention Steven Gerrard too, still capable of playing games from here from time to time, so we're going to give him time as well. Plenty of players there to play in those roles. The back four, pretty much set. Maybe if we didn't sell Alaba, that could have had us a little bit more depth there, so we could potentially look at bringing in one more player because we sold Alaba, but I really don't think that's the thing that we really need to do, so that's not a major key factor there. But what I want to look at is maybe bringing in one very solid winger, and possibly then looking at also maybe bringing in someone that could be a left back or right back, because that's actually what the teams or the fans are asking for in the game. And I want to keep fans, I want to keep the board happy so that we can keep our job here as well. So let me know in the comments what you think, or even if you have someone else completely off the table that is not listed. Don't list guys that are 40-50 million pounds that are extremely expensive, because I'm not going to bring them in. They're not players that I am interested in those players, but we don't have the money, nor am I going to really just, you know, throw money at this other team to see if we can get a player of that caliber. I really want to bring in kind of players that are good, but also you can say are maybe a bit unknown. We can bring them in for a bit smaller money, but still have a big impact in the squad. So I'm going to put that to you guys now, and the episode's only going to be in a couple hours or so, so it's going to be really the first people commenting on this video are going to have a say on that. And as if you want to join into with the live stream, you can totally do that. As I said before, it'll be on Twitch at Brido, and you can check that out there, and you guys can have your impact heard right when we're playing through the game as well. But going back to the games here, because we haven't really talked about the games that much in this episode, we had a game there against Barnsley that was for the FA Cup. early round FA Cup, and we got scored on there, and it was a tight game. We really were starting a very young back four. I wanted to give Sama a chance. He's never played for us before. He had a pretty good game overall. We had a draw there, went to the replay here, did a lot better. Really, overall, they did have a good possession in the game, but we controlled it mostly. Had a couple key chances for them, but we had some nice goals for us as well, and I was happy to see the team do well there. And even though we got the draw against Swansea, there's a team that I usually struggle against because they have great passing ability. And with that said, we'll get a look here at the standings. We also see some of the other things happening here too. Martin Kelly out for 4 weeks, get some extra money there. One of our games is delayed. And on top of that too, we got the player being sold here. So we got £11 million from the David Alaba transfer there, and $14 million for Lallana. And that's still obviously going to be up in the air because we haven't seen that actually work out as of yet. But you can see, I think Alaba was rated at around, I want to say, £8 or £9 million. So selling him that much was pretty solid. And we already brought in Cresswell for a bit of a lighter amount there. So I'm excited to see what Cresswell can do in a bigger role for us. And we also have players such as Flanagan and Robinson that are going to be stepping into their own, at least next season when they come back from their loans. But that said, that's the end of the episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Sorry for not really talking about the games that much. I will be getting back to doing a lot more commentary on the games in the next episode as we get back from really focusing on all this other stuff and into more of actually just focusing on the stretch run for Liverpool in Season 3. But as always, thanks guys for watching. Check out the live stream if you can, and I'll see you around in the future. Cheers.
With a game in hand on the team above. In 4th, Arsenal with 41 points. In 5th, Newcastle United with 40 points. In 6th, Liverpool with 38 points. In 7th, Manchester United with 37 points. In 8th, Southampton with 35 points. Bottom of the table, Cardiff City with 11 points. And then reading up the table, second bottom, Blackburn Rovers with 13 points. Third bottom, Wolverhampton Wanderers with 14 points. Fourth bottom, Swansea City with 16 points. Fifth bottom, Stoke City with 21 points.